The sun had dipped low on the western horizon, bleeding red across the endless prairie, when old rancher Elias found the trail of broken twigs and faint, crimson drops on the dry grass. He followed slowly, every step weighed down by an unease he could not explain, until the silence broke with a trembling whisper carried on the wind. "Please, help me." His hand went to the revolver at his hip, eyes narrowing as he stepped past his horse toward the faint sound. And there she was, barefoot, battered, her face swollen with bruises, her body trembling as she clutched at a giant leaf to shield herself from the world. For a moment Elias froze, unsure if what he was seeing was real or some ghost conjured by the dying light of day. The woman's eyes pleaded with him, not with words, but with the desperation of someone who had already suffered beyond measure. She stood in the middle of the open field, bloodied knees sinking slightly into the dust, the giant leaf shaking in her hands as if it were the only shield she had left. Elias bent down, his weathered hands reaching to steady her. But when he moved the leaf slightly, his breath caught in his throat. Beneath it were wounds deep and cruel, lashes of violence that told a story more terrible than words ever could. Whoever had done this had meant for her to die out there in the wild, abandoned and humiliated. Elias's jaw tightened, his eyes flicking from the woman's injuries to the wide expanse of land around them. He was a rancher, not a lawman, but in that moment, the weight of justice felt heavier than the revolver at his side. He tore a strip of his own shirt to bind her wounds, his voice low and steady as he whispered, "You're safe now, miss. Not another soul's gonna hurt you while I draw breath." But safety was never guaranteed on the frontier, where men carried greed and cruelty like weapons sharper than steel. Elias knew he had to get her to his ranch before whoever left her there came looking. He lifted her gently onto his horse, her body so light it felt as though sorrow itself had hollowed her out, and rode hard under the bruised sky. Each mile brought him closer to his homestead, but deeper into a storm that brewed in his heart. Who was she? What had she endured? And most of all, what devils lurked behind her pain, waiting to strike again? At the ranch, the woman, still nameless to him, gripped his hand tightly, whispering through broken lips, "Don't let them find me." Those words were a promise and a curse, for Elias knew the West never forgot, and men who inflicted such cruelty did not let go of their prey easily. As he tended her wounds by lantern light, he thought of the dangers to come, the blood that might yet be spilled, and the justice that demanded to be served. Her story was not just hers now. It was his too, woven into the very soil of his ranch. And so began a tale of survival, vengeance, and the unbreakable will of those who refused to bow to the darkness of the frontier. Friends, if this story stirred your heart and made you feel the raw spirit of the Wild West, where courage, pain, and justice walked side by side, then ride along with us on this journey. Subscribe to Wild West Stories 229, so you never miss another tale of grit, survival, and the human spirit shining against all odds. Your support keeps these stories alive, and together, we'll keep the legends of the frontier burning bright.